Hello friends, welcome to this fifth lecture on major theory. Okay, in the last video we were proving the three properties of M star. M star was Lebesgue outer major, and we have proved that M star of A plus Y is equal to M star of A. That is, outer major is translation invariant, and we needed to prove two more properties, and the two more properties are that M star of an interval is actually length of the interval, and the last one is that M star of union of EIs is less than is equal to summation M star of EIs, okay, whether EIs are disjoint or not, and this union is countable, and therefore the summation is also countable. So in this video we will prove this third property. Okay, we have already proved this first property, we'll prove this third property. In the next video we will prove this second property. Okay, so let us prove this third property. This property of outer major is called countable subadditivity. Okay, right, so let us prove this property. This is very simple to prove. So basically, if we know that M star is not if we know that M star can take values, it is a function from power set of R to extended R. Okay, it means that it can take values plus minus infinity. So if we have any of EIs has infinite outer major, okay, infinite, obviously minus infinity will not take, because by definition M star of a set is positive. So it means that if any of EIs is such that M star of EIs is infinity, then the right hand side of the star, which we have to prove, is infinity, and of course anything is less than is equal to infinity. So our inequality, which we have to prove, that is trivially true. In that case, if any of the EIs has infinite outer major, in that case we don't have anything to prove. We don't have anything to prove, right? In that case, okay, we don't have to prove anything, and the inequality is trivially true. So we assume that, therefore we assume that M star of EIs is finite for all I. Okay, so we have to prove our inequality only in this case. So let us do that, right? So we have this thing that M star of EI is finite for all I, and we need to prove that M star of union of EIs I from 1 to infinity is less than is equal to summation M star of EIs I from 1 to infinity, right? Okay, before proving this, you should know the definition of infimum of a set. Okay, suppose I say that A is equal to infimum of a set A, right? Then of course it means that A1 is greater than equal to A for all A1 in A. Okay, it means that every element of the set A is greater than equal to this A. There is a more precise definition of infimum of the set. Okay, so what is that definition? That definition says that given any epsilon greater than 0, okay, any positive number. Here is a picture. You have a set A, right, and you say that this A, small a, is an infimum of your set. Then if you add any small number to your infimum, right, you will get A plus epsilon. Then definitely you can find an element of your set A which is lesser than A plus epsilon. That is a definition of infimum, because infimum is supremum of some things. Okay, so therefore given any epsilon greater than 0, there exists an A1 belongs to set A such that if I add A to epsilon to my infimum, that will be greater than A1. Okay, so this is the definition of infimum. Okay, mathematical definition of infimum. Now look at this thing. We have M star of EK, right? What is this? This is infimum of summation of L of I. I'll write it as IK, such that your EK is contained in union of IKs, right? K from 1 to infinity. I'll write I'm sorry, it is wrong. Such that your EK is contained in union of EIK, where I is from 1 to infinity, okay, and IK are open and bounded. This is the definition of m star of e. Okay, I have used these two subscripts I and k. Okay, k stands for that we are talking about ek, and I stands for this union. Okay, I'll run from 1 to infinity. Right, now by definition I'll use this definition of infimum. Given any epsilon greater than 0, okay, I'll change it to epsilon by 2 raised to power k. I can find a cover I k I, or if you want to write it as I I k, okay, I from 1 to infinity of ek, such that this thing is true, this thing. Okay, now what is our infimum in this case? In this case, infimum is m star of ek plus epsilon. Epsilon is my epsilon by 2 raised to power k. You will come to know why I am dividing with 2 raised to power k. Okay, is greater than summation of length of I k. Is that thing clear? This is from the definition of m star of a, m star of some set, and that is infimum. So I have used the definition of infimum. So I get that for any epsilon greater than 0, I can find a cover of open and bounded intervals of ek such that this thing is true. Right? Call it star. Right? Now you have, this was for one particular ek, so you have basically e1 and then e2 and then e3 and so on. For this e1 you have a cover as I1, okay, and for this e2 you have a cover I2, and for this e3 you have the cover I3, and so on. And these covers satisfy this star property, this property, star property, right? Okay, now if we have a cover of e1 like this, and we have a cover of e2 like this, and we have a cover of e3 like this, then it implies that union of ek's, if I take the union of all these sets, they are contained in union of eki, where k varies from 1 to infinity and I varies from 1 to infinity. Therefore we have a cover I where both I and k varies from 1 to infinity. We have a cover of open and bounded intervals, and this cover is of union of ek's. Right now we have one cover of ek's. Right now, by definition, what is m star of union of ek's? M star of union of ek's is what? This is infimum of summation of L of you can write it IP, okay, such that your union of ek's is contained in union of IP, right? And if you get one such cover, okay, here is one such cover, then definitely this thing will be, because this is infimum of all the such quantities and you have only one such cover, so therefore we have m star of union of ek's is less than is equal to the summation of L of ik, where both I and k runs from 1 to infinity. So this is nothing but summation I from 1 to infinity L of ik, summation I from 1 to infinity and summation k from 1 to infinity L of ik. Right now this L of ik, summation I from 1 to infinity by star, this quantity is less than this thing. Okay, so I am writing it as k from 1 to infinity m star of e plus epsilon by 2 raised to power k. This is from star. Right, so what do we have right now? Let us see. So now what is this? This is equal to, you can take the summation here and then summation here, so you have something like this, k from 1 to infinity m star of ek plus, here epsilon will be common and you have 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 square plus 1 by 2 cube. This is a GP with common ratio half, so it is summable, and the sum of the GP is epsilon, this is epsilon as such, first term upon 1 minus common ratio, that is 1. So you have, this is equal to k from 1 to infinity m star of ek. Right, so let us see what we have right now. So we, at the end, we have this thing, m star of union of ek's k from 1 to infinity is less than summation k from 1 to infinity m stars of ek plus epsilon. Okay, and this is for given any epsilon positive, howsoever small. So what you get like this: m star of union of k from 1 to infinity ek minus k from 1 to infinity m star of ek is less than epsilon. Okay, now look at this thing. If you say that a number b is less than every positive number, okay, you are saying that a number b is less than every positive number, so it means that this number is less than is equal to 0. A number which is less than every positive number is either 0 or negative. Now you are saying that given any epsilon greater than 0, so this number is less than that number. Okay, so it means that this particular number we have, which is on the left hand side, this is less than every positive number. Therefore this number is less than is equal to 0. Therefore we get m star of union of ek's k from 1 to infinity minus summation k from 1 to infinity m star of ek is less than is equal to 0, which implies m star of union of ek's k from 1 to infinity is less than is equal to summation k from 1 to infinity m star of ek. Okay, here we don't need the disjointness of ek's, so this is called countable subadditivity property of m star. Countable subadditivity property of m star. Okay, and you can obviously, if this is true for countable collection, this is true for finite collection also. Okay, so we do have finite subadditivity property as well. How? You can just take all the ek's for k greater than n as phi, right? Then you have this property true for ek where k is from 1 to n. So we have this thing that m star of union k from 1 to n ek is less than is equal to summation k from 1 to n m star of ek. This is called finite subadditivity property of m star. Okay, so in this way we prove the two properties of m star. In the next video we prove the third property of m star. Thank you.